charge. Right, I'm in charge. He said, I'm in charge of this shit.
Yeah, because he knew that Reagan was dead.
The one was dead, so they had to get the clone right.
Cover it up, yeah.
Right. You know, so a lot of stuff went down in 1981. The NAACP had to bring suit on Hollywood because Hollywood had cut out all black people in movies and stuff. And they didn't even have people behind the cameras and stuff in 1981. I mean, it was so much things happening in that time. So that movie Heavy Metal, I saw it when it came in the theaters back then. And do you know that movie? They didn't put that movie on video until
10 years later.
Well, they didn't put the movie on video until 1996. When it, yeah, 96. Which is what? 15 years later. And they didn't put the movie on video until 15 years later. There was a lot of shit in that movie. But when I saw it back then, it was bad. I just got to go back and review it because I haven't seen it since 15. I saw it in the movie. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff came out in 1981. American Werewolf in London came out in 1981 about them white boys, you know, getting bit and all that stuff. Came out in 1981. The Howling came out in 1981. You see what I'm saying? Came out in 19. A lot of stuff came out in 1981 and all. You see what I'm saying? Also, after the release of Rick James and Super Freak and all, the American music industry came in and said that the wave of the future is black music, and said there won't be no kind of music can even top this shit. And then that's when they had to cut out all regular music and just give you only rap now. That was systematically done by the So although the youngsters like rap and stuff, it's ludicrous to have all rap now. And I'm going to go into that tomorrow and stuff about the rap. The reason why they had to show all rap, because if you notice about all rap, when you look at most rappers, be honest, they look dumb. We know they're not, but I'm telling you, the persona, the act, it looks dumb. It looks like a bunch, because they just hollering and acting dumb. It's just not sophisticated like Duke and the boys and shit. We have some sophisticated motherfuckers that white people tried to emulate. You see what I'm saying? The rappers look kind of dumb because it's equating with the same gangster rapping and stuff. They did that for a reason because they're trying to show, when they do a video, they're trying to show people around the world how low class we are. Let me show you another thing. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, but I'm going to get into it tonight. We got this argument over Ebonics. Shit everywhere. Okay. Like you said, thing, in this Ebonics thing, we know that part. We also know the other side when there's some other educators say that some of these damn mamas in the home can teach a motherfucker what they want to do, and their parents, if their parents want a person to learn something, they'll learn that shit. Because mama and them like, that's what you like. That's what you like and stuff. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it has a lot to do with that. You see what I'm saying? That's what you grow up on. So both of them have a thing, but that ain't what the cracker in the shit. Well, you think the cracker got, this is the key with the cracker doing. This is a mystery. Because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. Something wrong here.
Yeah, that's right.
They had this shit on CNN, ABC, NBC, BET. They got this shit all over. Internet, this, that. Everything is talking about Ebonics. They done had a congressional hearing. 2 weeks ago, they done went through the congressional hearing. I said, wait a minute, hold on now. Since when did the United States government, which is also the TV, was interested in the welfare and whether a motherfucker learn how to read or not, or speak well? Wait a minute, these are the same people that have gave you the conspiracy to destroy black boys, Kawanza and Jufa. So obviously, if that's been working for them, they're not interested in whether we learn or not. Especially not in the end times. I say, wait a minute, something funny about this shit. And the spirit came to me and I figured the shit out. Said, oh, I got it. Black people get on the thing and they genuinely argue over Ebonics, whether we're going to teach standard English this way or whether we're going to use Ebonics to teach things like that. Okay, they're arguing over it, and both sides got points. You see what I'm saying? Both sides have points. It's not in the argument. Same time they arguing on the TV. The cracker came out in the late 80s, early 90s, some shit called the bell curve. Saying that black motherfuckers was inferior.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
You tell me what the cracker doing with this Ebonics shit. They get you on the camera, and you arguing over whether you can teach Ebonics or whether you can teach English with good teaching. In order to argue about Ebonics, you got to admit the motherfuckers ain't learning. Well, otherwise you wouldn't even have the argument, right? Same time you admit that they got your ass on the camera, and them beams is shooting around the world. Because TV now is not just local. TV now is based on CNN and all that shit is worldwide. And translated in every English language. So they shooting around the world, right? That you a dumb motherfucker. Which bears witness on what the crackers came out with the bell curve and said that you was inferior in the first place. So we know that you're not inferior, but the whole time niggas is arguing because the nigga want to get before the camera and show how brilliant he is. And the same time you arguing, they showing you, because you got to admit that your people are failing to even argue about Ebonics. So the government ain't interested in Ebonics. They interested in you saying that you dumbass motherfuckers that can bear witness with the bell curve and can justify them ass wiping your ass off the planet. And that's the damn mission on why they're doing this shit. That's the reason why they only got rap now. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you go to Europe, they don't listen to nothing but dance music. Disco, dance music, and soul, funk, and Easters. When the Beatles, everybody got off the thing, they say, man, we don't want to go see no damn Elvis. We want to go see James Brown. We want to go see these, and we want to go see all these blues artists from Chicago. They listen only to black music around the world. In Japan, they listen to black music. So over here, what they do is, they don't have no more. They either got slow songs, which is sexual promiscuous, because they want to paint the black woman as this hoe. And they got rap. You see what I'm saying? They got rap. That's it. And you looking, so what it is, this stuff going, so they're trying to show the world that you dumb. And meanwhile, they arguing, that's what the Ebonics, that's what the government is in on this shit. But they said, let's piggyback on this shit. Because in order to say the Ebonics and stuff, you got to come out and say that you ain't learning.
But see, the whole thing is this school system has failed.
Right.
And they're covering up their own asses.
Right, well, you know, first of all, it failed because they systematically say they had to destroy black children. They deliberately, and in the pretense, or in the backwash of that shit, let's put it, them the dumbest motherfuckers in the world.
You got it.
Man, they dumb as shit. So what it is, because they're trying to destroy us, they done destroyed their whole culture.
The very thing that they pointed, that's what they turned back on.
But see, if you notice in the course of the Ebonics discussion, when white people get in on the discussion, white ethnic groups from around the country, they also say that we got them same fucked up dialects in the Irish, in the Italian, and all them. You hear them, they say, yeah, you go to Brooklyn, you got motherfuckers that fuck up the language too. Right. White people from Brooklyn. That's right. And it's coming out that they dumb too. But still yet the way they is, and every now and then you will see them come on there and say the same thing. And you would think that only black people mess up the language. The fact of the matter is, if you from a foreign country, you're going to fuck up the language. And English is fucked up, plus English is the hardest language in the world to learn. The hardest language of all languages to learn is English, because English is not a natural language. It's a borrowed language from about 10 different languages. Greek, Latin, German, and the dialect German, ancient Egyptian, which Master has shown, ancient Egyptian, Islam, because some of your words in there is Islamic words. And so a lot of the stuff, and a bunch of words and stuff, Mediterranean language, they put all that shit to one thing to teach that crazy bastard in England. Who they say what? The British was so dumb they couldn't even make good slaves. That's what the Romans said about them. They so dumb, they say the British was so dumb they couldn't even make good slaves. You see what I'm saying? They was that dumb. So therefore, too, it's a hard language to master anyway. I got my ex-girlfriend is a French. She got a master's degree in French, and she spent a year in Paris studying at the Sorbonne. She said so in the exchange place, she had to go stay with a French family. And she said they had a little white boy trying to learn English, and this white boy was bilingual. He knew that Nigerian shit. He knew all that African stuff, because you know they got a lot of Africans. He said, but she said that little boy was catching hell trying to learn English. She said it was pitiful. He could hardly get that thing. They have to study real hard to learn this language, this broken up language. And he was studying because it doesn't systematically make sense. That's right. She said that little boy. He said that little boy knew 2 and 3 different languages, but that English, he said he was having a time with that shit. And you know, children can learn this thing faster than we can, and this was kicking this little boy's behind. So can you imagine how it's going to be? But that's not what they're arguing over. The Ebonics that they're arguing over is they're trying to show people that the bell curve is right. And so at first they had Negroes arguing against the bell curve. Now Negroes is arguing for the bell curve in admitting that black people, there's a deficiency in us learning so they can explain this Ebonics on TV. And in order to explain it and all this kind of stuff here. And that's what it is. And they don't even know. They thinking it's Ebonics, and the crack up there saying, look at these dumbass bastards here. We showing that their kids ain't shit now. They can't even take on the 21st century. And if you notice now, they got about a bunch of books out now talking about beyond the 21st century. Yeah. Can you make the cut to the 21st century? All kind of new shit. What can you do in the 21st century? So now they are declaring the Negro obsolete. Because the first thing they say is, because they come on, the first thing when they come on any Ebonics commercial or any Ebonics forum, the first thing they say is over half of black people can't compete in the marketplace because they don't know standard English. That's the first thing they say. Then they say, you can't compete in the marketplace in the ever-changing society if you don't know standard English. So they keep saying this, and they basically driving that shit home. That this Negro is obsolete. He can't even speak the language.
That's the nail that they like to pick.
And then they say, when the people say, no, but the language, that's no, it's no, it's the bell curve. Remember, we told you they're genetically inferior. And so that's what they drive home to the people. Like I say, most white people in this country know us. And they know that they fucked up too. And they know that when they come around us, they know we superior. Them motherfuckers ain't stupid. But what it is the people who don't have a heavy influx of black people, they get a different thing over in China. Yeah. You see, over in certain parts of Europe. But over here, the white people over here know that they can't do nothing unless they got a Negro. And that's why they call Bill Cosby the father of America. Yeah. Ain't that some bitch? Yeah. You see, so they know that kind of stuff. So that's very interesting. That's what this Ebonics thing is about. That's what it's about. In the context of the argument, you got to pull out all stop. Then they got black people arguing over each other. Then you got all, and see the thing about it is you got all the bourgeoisie Negroes saying, oh, that's a joke book shit there. Oh, but if the damn Japanese come up and say they had Japonics, you be like, oh, them Japanese some bad motherfuckers. Yeah. They didn't devise the language to teach their children standard English. Because you got a different opinion of them. But when we come to do some shit, it's a joke book. I said, but you wouldn't say that to the Japanese. You wouldn't say that if the Jews came up and said, we got a Jewish dialect that got to be broken, so we bringing them Jewonics. Yeah. You would say, oh, them Jews is bad. Them Jews done devised the language to teach their people standard English. And you would be appraising it. Because you got a low opinion of black people. You don't think that black people can invent nothing.
And we invented it all.
And we invented it all, so therefore you think that. What's that, brother?
What did you say about E? Earlier you say something about the E earlier?
Yeah, the E is in the back of the Sirius mystery book. It's the second vowel. It's their second vowel.
Then why are they using Ebonics?
Ain't that a bitch?
Now, here comes the E.
You see how ain't that something? Then you get Enos, get killed. And like I said earlier, ain't that something? Even though we know the Ebonics thing and all, ain't that something? And remember also, too, the cracker don't jump now unless it's got something esoteric behind it.
That's right.
You see?
That's right.
Synchronicity. Synchronicity.
I was wondering if you could touch on the fact that since the Million Man March, a couple of us have talked about it already earlier, probably before you got here, that the community, especially here in Philly, that things just look dead. There's no life. Nobody doesn't even look like they're trying to even do anything since the march. Really looks dead, man.
Well, you know what it is? I mean, if these people build this march up to be the biggest thing on earth, and man, you think the damn Farrakhan party the Red Sea when you talk to the average Muslim now. Yeah, right. The greatest thing ever. They're like, we did it. I'm like, motherfucker, you still poing shit. So when people see that and all, and they see him, first of all, we built him up as the main leader.
Right.
And after he made his pilgrimage to Washington, D.C., and motherfuckers still fucked up, it just break all the energy out of people. They don't have no knowledge.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's the only knowledge they get is Farrakhan now.
Right, that's
you see what I'm saying?
Step one.
So when they see him not saying some shit, plus also you confuse people. You Farrakhan, and then you gonna turn around and be the black militant and all, and you gonna turn around and do like Jesse Jackson, tell the motherfucker start voting.
Yeah.
Right.
That breaks the people's spirit.
Yeah. Right.
People don't want to hear that, so you can break the spirit in people.
Right.
By telling them stuff like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's dead as hell right now.
Yeah. You can break the spirit in people. So that also too. So give me some more questions. So we put it on the video. Tomorrow I got another specialized lecture on this Holy Grail mystery. There's some stuff about Parzival that's dealing with it as far as the story of that particular Parzival is talking about neutralizing the ego. And there's a whole mystery in that on how they didn't raise this particular person in the mythology. They didn't raise him around the actual, amongst the people in town because they didn't want him to get an ego. So there's a lot of stuff going on there with that tomorrow. Also, I got some other stuff that Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about that I just got on Adolf Hitler, and he created this new. And I got this particular information, and I know it to be true because it's some stuff that he wrote over 40 years ago over Adolf Hitler creating this string of black woman. I don't know if it's around us and you can trace your family, but they got some that's in the neighborhood, and some of them are prostitutes. They're not even they're not of any family lineage. They just put them in the community, and they can make a person get cancer and all that type of stuff, and all right. And they real fine too. So it's a whole thing on that and all that I got from some stuff that's coming from the messenger. So I know and when he said Adolf Hitler, I knew he knew what he was talking about. Got that, and there's so much other stuff also too we're gonna deal with. So give me some more questions.
I got a question.
Yes.
Set and Mars. How is Set an example of the demiurge?
Yeah, that one is. See, there's two sets. There's Set Typhon and the Typhonian myth. That is the supreme God, the oldest God ever known. Then you got Set Typhon in the Osirian myth. That has nothing to do with the other one. The Set Typhon in the Osirian myth, Osiris is the Set of the older myth. And the Set Typhon of the Osirian myth is, I didn't like, they shouldn't have named it that, but they was getting back at the other priesthood. And they named their enemy, the other priesthood, God. But that one in there that they're talking about is in actuality, the white man as well as the hierarchy, the demiurge. Also, what you got here also too is I found out the reason why they named the Set Typhon of the later mythology, or the demiurge, or the later mythology, Set Typhon. They named that particular devil Set Typhon is because the Typhonian people are attributed of creating the damn white man, because they come out of Atlantis. So they just named the creation. So he's the white man as well as being a Dalabath and the demiurge. Because there is no such thing as time and space, and there is no such thing as a heaven realm. The demiurge that they talk about, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow too. The demiurge that they talk about is inside of white people. And Adalabath and them is the ones that run the government now. There is no such thing as no thing. The government is run by these alien people now, totally. This particular demon. Yeah, they run the whole show now. They run the whole show now. Mm-hmm. That too. That's also in your Gods of Eden. But they run the whole show now. Mm-hmm.
Another question.
Yep.
Rituals and dates. Seeing how non-melanin people are not spiritual, why would they be so closely related to doing dates on their rituals since they're not spiritual anyway?
But basically they rely and take advantage of being the custodians of all our material that they have gathered up from around the world. So based on the material that they gather around the world of ours, they can calculate stuff better than we can. Doesn't have anything to do with their melanin. It has something to do with them motherfuckers got all our shit.
Yeah. So when it happens, they blame
your thing cut off.
So when it happens, they blame on science.